Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe for another action figure review. And today we're taking a look at another JadaToys Street Fighter 2 Final Challengers figure. And this time around, we're talking about my favorite Street Fighter character, Guile. And you know what? It's funny. I don't even know why he was my favorite character. But when I was younger, every time I played the game, I always picked Guile. So I've been really looking forward to seeing JadaToys take on this character because obviously they've been killing it with all the other Street Fighter figures. So I just know that they're going to do a good job on this guy. And man, I've got to say, through the box here, he looks amazing. The figure looks much bigger than I was expecting. He's kind of a monster in there. So yeah, man, let's go ahead and get into it, starting off with the packaging. Like with all the other Street Fighter figures, Guile does come in this really cool arcade cabinet themed packaging, and I freaking love that. Through the window, you are able to see the figure itself. Up front, we get some cool looking artwork of Guile, says Street Fighter 2, and then we do get the buttons and the joystick and all that. Up here, we have the energy and power bars. Over here, we get some nice looking artwork. On the back, we get a look at the figure. We get a look at some other characters. We have the character selection type of artwork down here. That's always dope. We get some information about Guile on this side, along with some more artwork, and that's about it for the packaging. It does look really good and all that, but enough about the pretty box. Let's go ahead and get Guile out and take a look. Alrighty, so here we have Guile out of the packaging. And man, I've got to say, I was a little concerned that I'd be disappointed with this figure because of how much I was looking forward to it. I felt maybe I was putting like an unfair expectation on it and I was going to be left disappointed for some reason. But I'm happy to report that is not the case. This figure is freaking awesome. Guile turned out so badass. He is hands down my favorite figure in the wave, and he just might end up being my favorite figure of the entire line. I don't know. It's going to be tough to dethrone Dhalsim because I love that figure quite a bit, but Guile, he's up there with them, man. He's neck and neck with Dhalsim. I'm going to say it's a tie between these two figures as for the number one spot in my eyes. Both of them are awesome, but man, I love the way that Guile turned out. He's such a dope figure. And man, I didn't realize like how big Guile was. Like comparing him to the other figures, he's humongous. He's a big dude. And what caught me by surprise is the fact that even though he's so big, he still moves really well. Like you could pose him with the best figures in the line. Like he's just as posable as Cammy or whatever. So they did a great job of keeping all that articulation even in such a big dude. And you know what? It makes me even more excited about the bigger characters that they have on the horizon. I keep talking about how I'm curious how they're going to handle those. And I know that Guile's not as big as Blanka or Balrog or whatever, but he is bigger than some of the other characters that we've seen so far, and everything moves nicely. So I have complete faith that those bigger characters are going to move nicely. I can't wait for some of those to come out. But look at this guy, man. So, such a dope character and dope figure. And they did a great job with everything on it. Like the paintwork is really clean. The sculpting work is nice. Yeah, man, they killed it. But let's go ahead and get in close and take a look at the details on him. Starting from the top, I think that JadaToys did a great job on both of Guile's head sculpts. Starting with this one here, as you can see, he has a very serious, stoic look to him, which is perfect for the character. So that's nice. They did a great job painting the eyes. Those are super clean. Check that out. And there's a little bit of a paint wash in there, but it's not very much. You probably could bring out some of the sculpting work with some additional paint wash in there if you wanted to touch it up a little bit. But as is, I think it looks pretty good. And there is a little bit of paint wash. You could see like between the eyes there. But man, the eyes look clean. And then he does have a little bit of paint on his lips, so that's good. Yeah, this is a great looking head sculpt. And then he's got his crazy hair. There's not a whole lot of paint work in the hair, but it does look good. So yeah, I like this head sculpt quite a bit. And the alternate head sculpt is very similar, except this time around, you could see his teeth. He's looking angry. So yeah, that looks nice. Again, with the crazy hair and a little bit of a paint wash on the skin. So yeah, good job on both of the head sculpts. And then moving down to the body, as you can see, he does come with an actual chain that has the dog tags on him. And then look at the detail on the tank top here. This looks really good. I love how you can see his muscles underneath the creases and stuff. That is so cool. And then just look at the actual texture of the tank top. Man, that's crazy. Yeah, they go all out with the sculpting work on these guys. The paint work is really crisp and clean. I don't see any green out of place or any of the skin tone out of place or anything. It looks really nice. Look at that, man. Super clean. Yeah, the tank top looks really good. And then you could see on the shoulders, he does have his American flags. And again, look how clean that is. Right out of the box on this side, mine had a little tiny mark. You could still kind of see it, but I was able to wipe most of it off. Like there was a speck of black in there, but I was able to just take it off and now it looks good. Zoomed in on camera, you may be able to see the imperfection, but with the naked eye, you can't really tell at all. But man, they considering how small these flags are on his shoulders, they killed it, man. It's crazy how clean they are. And then moving down to the lower body, he's got his belt here, which is pretty clean. The paintwork on it is pretty clean, which is impressive because this is like soft plastic, but they did a good job with it. Man, there's even like different texture on the belt than the rest of the pants. That's insane. And the pants look really good. As you can see, he does have the painted camo style on there. The boots look nice. Again, very well painted. Everything is so clean. Man, the factories that JadaToys uses are pretty crazy because I'm really impressed with how clean the paint is on this guy. Especially like with the flag and then right here on with the tank top. Usually on this type of thing, you'd see a little bit of like spilling over, but I don't see any at all. Even zoomed in on camera, it's very clean. So yeah, that's impressive. But yeah, man, it's a great looking figure. In addition to the two heads, Guile does come with some accessories, including two different sets of hands. So first off, we have a pair of fists. And then for the second set of hands, he comes with the gripping hand on the right side and then an open hand on the left side. And the gripping hand can be used to hold on to the comb that he comes with. And the comb is really nice because it's very small, but it fits perfectly into Guile's hand. And you don't have to worry about it falling out or anything like that. It stays in there securely. But yeah, it's pretty tiny. So that's really dope. I love that they included this. Obviously, that's perfect for Guile. So you could get his celebration pose going. So yeah, that's nice. And then for the final accessory, Guile does come with his sonic boom effect. And this is really nice. Check this out, man. It's got a stand that you can plug into the back so you could mount it. And I love that JadaToys gives all of their Street Fighter characters like some type of effect so that they could show off their powers, you know? That's so awesome. And I think they did a great job with Guile's sonic boom effect. I was a little surprised to see that the actual effect is made out of like a different type of material than some of the other effects that we've seen with JadaToys Street Fighter figures. Like this plastic is a little bit harder and more dense. It's not like a soft plastic like, you know, like Cammy's kicking effect or whatever. But yeah, man, this is great. It came out really dope. And then getting into size comparisons, look how big this fool is. Look how wide Guile's shoulders are. I wasn't expecting him to be bigger than DJ, but he definitely is. That's kind of crazy. But anyway, here we have Guile alongside his wave mates. On the left, we have the JadaToys Street Fighter Cammy. On the right, we have the JadaToys Street Fighter DJ. And this is a really, really strong wave. All three of these figures are awesome. But for me, Guile is the best of the bunch. Let me know which figure you like the most out of these three. You can't go wrong. Anyone you pick, it's right because all of them are awesome. But yeah, man, it's a really great wave. And then here we have Guile alongside the JadaToys Street Fighter Fei Long and JadaToys Street Fighter Ryu. And as great as those figures were, like they're nowhere near as good as the newer stuff that JadaToys is doing. It's crazy to see how much they've improved in such a short amount of time. Like they've only been doing Street Fighter figures for what, like 2 years or something? Not very long, but yeah, man, they just continue to get better and better, and this new wave it's amazing. Like it's so much better than the first wave, which is crazy. But anyways, I think they look really good together. And then here we have Guile alongside the JadaToys Street Fighter M Bison and the JadaToys Street Fighter Dalsim. I have a review for Dalsim on my channel now. Be sure to check that out. I did not do a review for M Bison, but that figure is freaking awesome too. I was not expecting Guile to be bigger than M Bison. Like it's close, but yeah, Guile's shoulders are wider and he's just like a bigger character. He looks like he'll beat the shit out of M Bison, which is kind of crazy. But man, Dalsim and Guile, both of these figures are my favorites out of all the JadaToys Street Fighter figures so far. I think the only other character that may have a chance to like join their level is Blanka, but we'll see. But so far, man, JadaToys straight killing it. Let me know your favorites so far. It's hard to choose because all of them have been amazing, but let me know which one you guys like the most in the comments below. And then for some Marvel vs. Capcom action, here we have Guile alongside the Marvel Legends Cable and the Marvel Legends Modular Iron Man. Obviously, if you have the Hasbro exclusive version of Modular Iron Man with the bright yellow colors, that would work way better as a Marvel vs. Capcom Iron Man. But, you know, this is the one I have handy, so you get the idea. And then here we have Guile alongside the Mafex comic Daredevil and Mafex comic Captain America. And then next up, we have him alongside the Marvel Legends X-Men 97 Wolverine and the Marvel Legends 2-pack Sabretooth. And then of course, we have him alongside the Marvel Legends Renew Your Vows Spider-Man and the Marvel Legends Bucky Cap. And then lastly, of course, here we have Guile alongside my original character. That's the Unparalleled Universe Odious. And then on the opposite side, we have the NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mirage Comics Kirby, aka the King Jack Kirby. And even though Guile is a bit bigger than pretty much all the other Street Fighter figures that we've seen from JadaToys, they did a great job of maintaining the level of articulation that we've come to expect from them. This figure is so much fun to mess around with, and you could get him into any pose that you could get any of the other JadaToys Street Fighter figures into, you know? So I was really impressed with that, because as soon as I took him out, I was like, man, he's bigger than I was expecting, but he moves so well. Like, everything still works the way that we expect it to. And you know, when it comes to the articulation, another thing I want to point out is that JadaToys does a great job of giving their figures amazing articulation, but keeping everything clean, you know? Like, the torso gets great range, but it's not gappy at all. Same thing with like the shoulders, and everything just looks really good and moves really well. So it's difficult to do that, you know, to make everything get like the full range, but keep it looking good and not gappy. They do a great job at that. But let's go ahead and see what we have going on here, starting off at the head. So he does have movement at the lower neck and at the upper neck. Using both of those, we get some nice tilt action for those, you know, victorious attitude poses. So that's nice. And then he could look side to side. He could look up to about right there, which is pretty good. And then he could look down a nice amount. You could get his chin into his chest like that. Bam! There we go. So pretty good movement at the head and the neck area. And then he does have the awesome torso setup that I love so much, which is a diaphragm cut and a ball joint at the waist. Using both of those, he could crunch forward to about right there, which is pretty crazy, man. Look at that. And then it could go back to about right there, which is pretty good. And we get some nice side-to-side action. And look at that, man. No gaps or anything. Everything just looks good and moves really well. I swear, man, this torso setup is a cheat code. I don't know why every company doesn't just do this same torso setup. It works so well. And then for the arms, he does have some awesome butterfly joints. Look at that. Get some really good range out of those. So you can get him into really nice boxing poses. Bam, look at that. Oh, that's perfect. That looks so good. Then he could swing his arm back a pretty good amount. Oops. So really good stuff at the shoulders here. And then he does have, oh wait, hold on, let's see. Let's get him into like a punching pose just so we could see how well the butterfly joints work. Boom. Yeah, man. So cool. Look at that, it's perfect. So really good stuff here at the shoulders. And then he does have ball joints at the shoulder as well. Let me get him situated. So his arms could go all the way around with no problem at all. He does have upper bicep swivel. Double jointed elbows that bend to right there. The elbows and the knees are another area where they do a great job, where we get really good range, but all of it looks really nice. And then he does have a swivel at the wrist, a hinge at the wrist. And then for the legs, let's see. He can kick up a really nice amount. Boom, look at that. That is awesome, man. Obviously, the torso is helping us out a little bit, but still, it's all about the result, right? Look at that. That's crazy. Just by itself, the leg goes up to about right there. Maybe a little bit more. But using the torso, look at that. Bam. And then can't really kick back too much. Oh, it kicks back a little bit, but it does start to flare out. He could kick to the side a really nice amount. Boom. He could kick Bison right in his mouth. Bam. And then let's see what else we have going on. He has a upper thigh swivel. Double jointed knee. Bam. Yeah, I like that right there. That looks good. And then he does have a boot swivel and rocking ankles. The rocking ankles were a little tight right out of the box, so I did have to heat those up. But yeah, they do work nicely. Foot goes forward to right there, comes up to right there. So yeah, man, like I said, the articulation on Guile is amazing, and it's been amazing on all the Street Fighter figures. Like, they just do, I mean, again, I think I said it on one of the previous Street Fighter reviews, either Cammy or DJ, but you could tell that JadaToys really focuses on the articulation, and it's like a point of emphasis for them to like make sure that their figures are hand friendly and enjoyable to actually pose around and play with. Every single one of their Street Fighter figures has been a joy to handle, and Guile is no exception. So yeah, they killed it on the articulation once again. A couple of things I wanted to touch on before getting out of here. Shout out to everybody who commented on my DJ review, letting me know that you can actually mount his effect like this. I didn't even realize that was the case. I was kind of criticizing this effect because I felt like it sat a little too low, because I thought that you could only plug it in this way. But it turns out there's also a plug down here at the bottom. So you can plug it like that, and that's like a perfect height. So now I have no complaints about DJ's effect here. So this is pretty damn awesome, actually. So yeah, thank you for letting me know about that. And then the other thing I wanted to mention was on Cammy, a lot of people were talking about how there was like some lines or something in the torso area, and there is a little like imperfection in there, but honestly it's really hard to see in person, so it didn't even like catch my attention when I was reviewing this figure. But there is a little something in there. I don't know exactly what it is. But aside from that, you know, I love this figure. And even with that little imperfection, you know, I don't care. It doesn't bother me. Obviously, we don't want imperfections on our figures, but sometimes they happen. And in this case, it's not like it's a huge eyesore. It's just something that people were able to see on the review because, you know, I get in real close. But yeah, just looking at it with the naked eye, it doesn't catch my attention whatsoever. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on those two things. Hope you guys enjoyed those reviews though. Alrighty, so overall, at the end of the day, when the smoke clears, the dust settles, and it's all said and done, I am very happy with this figure. Like I mentioned several times before, I was really looking forward to seeing JadaToys' take on this character, and I think they just did a fantastic job on Guile. Just like the rest of the Street Fighter figures, everything about this figure is well executed. All the sculpting work is well done, the paint work is nice, and I like the accessories as well. He doesn't come with a whole lot, but I think that there's a good amount of stuff, especially for the price, and he pretty much comes with everything that he needs, you know, 2 heads, 2 sets of hands, and an effect. That works for me, so I'm happy with the accessories. And the articulation and the fun factor is really where these JadaToys figures separate themselves from a lot of other figures in this price range. Like, the articulation is so much fun to mess around with. So whenever I do my reviews, I film the packaging segment, and then I open the figure and I spend like a couple of days with them sometimes. I spent like a week with Guile, and I was playing with it constantly. I had it near my desk, I'd mess around with it, walking around my house, I'd just be posing it around. It's just such a fun figure, and all the JadaToys figures are like that. So it's crazy. It's crazy how good these figures are for the price. Like, these things cost 25 bucks or something. I mean, there's not a whole lot out there that can compete with JadaToys at that price point, as far as like just getting your money's worth and like enjoying what's actually in your hands. Obviously, nothing's perfect. There's always going to be something that you could complain about or some type of thing that could be better. But man, for 25 bucks, the JadaToys Street Fighter figures have been incredible. And like I said, for me, Guile's up there as one of the best, but that's because, you know, personally, it's my favorite character from Street Fighter. He was my guy. He was the one that I always chose whenever I played the game. And yeah, so I'm really happy with the way this figure turned out. Huge thank you to the folks over at JadaToys for sending this out to me. Shout out to June. I do appreciate it. And if you want to pick this guy up, you could pre-order it at Big Bad Toy Store. I'm sure it'll eventually be at Target, but you know, hunting for toys sucks. So, you know, I say just pre-order it from Big Bad Toy Store and wait just a little bit longer. I'll leave a link to the Big Bad Toy Store listing for this figure down below. Please be sure to use those links. They do help the channel and all that good stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching these reviews. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Thank you very much. Peace.